Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with REtoken, the real estate DAO, and we are coming live for our fourth white paper working group. So really excited to bring hopefully a close on this. It's the last day of November and really hoping to put a bow tie on, and it's looking like it's going to be a light paper. We had a poll in Discord, and let me just bring that up here real quick. I'm pretty sure it's in this channel here. So this is the poll that we had. We had 10 people vote in favor of a light paper on one of our previous working groups. We made the decision of having that on our Gitbook page, which is here at docs.retoken.info. And I'll bring that up here real quick. But before I do that, I want to just run down the list. I don't know if you all can see it here, but we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people tonight on our working group. So going down the list, myself, you've got Mrs. Yonks, the VIP on the call here. We've got D-Sign, Crush, Blackfire, Amy, and Ryan. Welcome everybody tonight. Thank you everyone. And this is the Google Docs that we have been working off of for our previous working groups. And this is the Trello card that and for those of you that may or may not know, Trello is where we get all the things done here at REtoken. So this is our public board, and this is the Trello card that we've got for tonight, and didn't really add to any of the agenda, trying to keep that mostly. So this is just kind of a summary for the event. So one of the things that to bring forward that's been on the list here is a couple proposals, and this is one of the things. I'm going to do the airdrop either later tonight or tomorrow after the community call, and then do the proposals for these 3 items that are somewhat related: the tagline, the passive income quest, and the light paper versus the white paper. Send that through the snapshot proposal process. But wanted to bring back the window real quick over here. So this is where we were doing some of the work during our previous, I think I changed it from white paper to light paper earlier today or the other day. So I wanted to just take a moment here to allow anybody that would like to chime in on the process as far as where we're at. And one of the things that's probably been the most debated anyway is the direction with the tagline here. And let me show you the voting proposals channel that we've got. So this is the 3 items that I was talking about here: the BIDL passive income with real estate for everyone. And that's what I want to take a moment to provide everybody the opportunity here during our working group. And I saw Brian joined. Welcome, Brian. We were just going through a real quick recap and wanted to provide people one last opportunity to reflect here in this window on this tagline and the direction, because that's one that I anticipate will lean very heavily into, and that's the WeBiddle passive income, and the longer tagline is with real estate for everyone. So I'm going to go on mute and give everybody the opportunity to chime in here. And if you could, Tyler, facilitate the conversation. If it starts getting muddied up, that would be much appreciated.
Sure. Well, welcome, Brian. Good to see you here. What does everybody think?
As far as the tagline, I'm not. I guess my thoughts are more neutral either way. I think it works. You know, the goal is to build or BIDL passive income, so I think it works. I don't personally have any issues with it. So if we were to move forward with that, that'd be just fine with me.
Cool. Who else has thoughts? Okay, then I say we just make this our temporary line for now. And so Jason, is the thought on this to make these three different, to work on all three of these papers at the same time in chunks, or do you only want to do the first one and then we'll do the second and third one when we're done? Or at least when we've got something that's more close to done.
Just noticed that I was on mute. So the thoughts are to get one white paper out, or the Lite Paper out the door here. And this is something that we are, I think, have a couple ways that we can approach this. I already showed the page over here that we've got on Gitbook, and let me make this bigger on the screen. And is that looking pretty good at this size right there?
Yeah, I can see it.
So we moved one of the things here. My thoughts are, if we are intentional about going this direction with the multiple white paper or Lite Paper strategy like here, because right now we started, it seemed like bunching a bunch of stuff. And this was something that we did during the previous working group. And when I say a bunch of stuff, I'm talking like the mission, the founding principles. Because when you think about like this, if we call this first white paper right here, what I'm highlighting, we biddle passive income with real estate for everyone. And the focus of that Lite Paper is the passive income component. And the thoughts on the passive income component, just to provide a really quick aspect. And let me add this to here just to make it. Am I in edit mode? I think so. So let's see. Maybe it doesn't like this zoom level. So the thought where I was going with that was, who is the passive income for? Oh, I think I'm on view mode editing. Yeah, so I was on there we go. So going the indent is one security token holders, i.e. investors. And two is the real estate tokenization deal maker. And I don't know of a better label to put on that. So and that's, I'm not sure what that's going to look like right now, because we don't have the smart contract finalized or what that's going to look like. But the goal is for those two categories of people to provide the passive income for, because like one of the other things that we've had on the that's kind of like in the pipeline, if you will, where we haven't really delved into the conversations, is this passive income quest. And I'll bring open that tab here real quick. This is something that I've got on GitHub, and not going to go off on the details on this because this is something that we'll probably have some conversation about during our working group for the ambassador. And that's actually something that on our events, and I don't know if everybody saw that earlier, but we do have a poll going right now for, where's it at? I did make it in this events channel. I know that I did. Let's see. Oh, right here. Yeah, the one with the big question mark on it. So we do have an open event or an open poll, and I'll talk about this on the community call tomorrow. I think that I've got this running through 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. But the ambassadors program. So we'll go more into this passive income quest, because I think that that could be a great opportunity. And I don't know, and this is where we could go really deep on this. And let me open this passive income quest here so that everybody can know where to find that. I think that I have it linked over here. No, I don't. Let me add a link to that. So under content, quests, and passive income quest 100. So this would be where we could go and communicate in our white paper or light paper as far as like, hey, this is the first version. We're executing this research initiative through this passive income quest. And then like from a time frame standpoint on this biddle passive income. So I know that that was a tangent. Where I was going with that was the framework that was talking about as far as the light paper, because I'm really thinking that a lot of this stuff would be better under the DAO operations instead of under the light paper, and just be really niched on this on the light paper. And let me go into edit real quick here too. And that's one of the things and I sent out, I believe, everybody that had requested access to Gitbook. If that's something that you need some access, link DM myself or Mrs. Yonks, and we can get you added to be a contributor here on Gitbook. So where I was going with this is I think it would actually be better. Let me go into edit mode and we can just, so I was thinking it would be better to like have this be whatever we're going to call this, biddle passive income. And this will be like light paper number 1 here. And instead of having this and then like when we get down to doing our second light, and this I think this is one that I'm super excited about, that a lot of people are about. And this is a huge opportunity. And this is one that I think that we can collaborate with other DAOs on, as far as like creating this solution. And this is really where I think that we can develop some of the tokenomics for our shared equity appreciation model. And that's one of the things that would like to, I think that we could talk about in this biddle passive income, because one of the things that I think that will make more sense, instead of just doing a simple one token solution for our tokenized properties, I'm really thinking that the opportunity of doing like a dual or maybe even a 3 token situation may make sense. And I don't want to go into the weeds on that. This is again, like, I think where we could kind of put some vision forward in the light paper. So that's kind of the direction that I'm from our last working group to this one, and wanted to allow everybody to kind of reflect on that, if that's making sense or if it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I'm not really sure, but I'd love to hear some thoughts.
Okay, can I pipe in with, you spelled my last name wrong, which is the same as your last name. So I feel like you should be able to spell that correctly.
I'm not the one typing that, so it's
Oh.
the pig cursor.
It's actually
and I think
me. I copy and pasted it from somewhere. I know how
Yeah.
it's spelled.
Oh, Dylan, so sorry about that. I thought Jason typed that in. And I was that was amazing. That was like the best day of that was the best moment of today.
for you and you YOU. No, come on, babe. You should know better than that. Anyway.
No, but that was spectacular. Sorry to drive us into that tangent. Let's go back. Okay.
One of the things too, I'm seeing our participation here that I thought would be beneficial too, to make this kind of like more manageable for a final, is just putting it in a table as far as like contributing a participation table. But that's not really relevant right now, but just kind of like when we're talking about putting a bow tie on this. And that's one of the things too that I think that we may need to think about a little bit, because, you know, we have been creating a lot of content, but we also have not been super intentional about the content that we're creating, especially like written content. And this is really going to be like one of our flagship written pieces of content. Where I'm going with that is, and this is something that we'll talk about during the community call and the core team call, community call tomorrow, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then our core team call on Sunday at 3 Eastern time is a content team. And that's where looking forward to digging deeper as far as really having more strategy. We've had like, I think maybe one dedicated working group, and then we had a community tools working group, but the opportunity of potentially like, you know, one of the things that would be fun that I was thinking of before the working group tonight is like, we've got the Git book over here, and let me tab it back over to that. So we've got the Git book here, and this views well on a mobile experience, but it's not conducive for like just a single page, for example, especially if we break it into several sections. So where I was going with that is I thought it might be fun to do like a version 1 that we upload to IPFS. So taking a little bit of extra time to like look at putting it into a PDF / something that we could upload to IPFS, and then also have here on Gitbook. Now that's almost just for everybody to think about, and I don't think that that's something that we necessarily need to make a decision on tonight, because I'm pretty sure that we're not going to have everything finalized tonight. So the biggest thing I'm thinking of right now is just from a structuring standpoint, if we're going to move more in the direction of just focusing this first one on this, and I created this over here, BIDL passive income, and just focus this first one strictly towards the passive income narrative of what we're looking to create with the real estate security tokens.
I'm not sure if this would be helpful, but a format that I've written a lot of papers in the format of is people, process, performance, of who's involved, what we're doing, and how we're going to measure whether it's working. So I don't know if that would be helpful for this, just to get us started, of saying for the people, this is, we're looking at realtors, real estate investors, people that are interested in real estate, tenants who would like to take equity positions. These are kind of all the people on the bus. And then process, this is how we're going to do it. We are going to generate tokens. We're going to buy properties. We're going to have a broker dealer involved, blah, blah, blah. And then performance, this is how we're going to measure it. Is that something that would be helpful for this white paper from a structure standpoint, or no?
Well, I think a lot of it is just like deciding on where because some of the stuff has got details in it, so it's not like we're just looking at a blank page here. And this is definitely something that we could put more details in. And I was actually, going through what this looked like on my iPhone as far as a mobile experience. And if you haven't done that, I definitely encourage everybody to open this on the docs.retoken.info on their mobile phone and kind of navigate what that looks like. So in the roadmap, this is something that I was wanting to put some more time in from a content standpoint. We've got like governance here, and this is where trying to be a little bit like we've got our operating agreement that's got
Hey,
detail.
David, are these all things that we're going to put in the light paper, the operating agreement?
Well, that's the thing. We during our previous working group, we're talking about having a governance section, and that's, I think, if we agree to narrow that this is only going to be about that this light paper is only going to be about diddle passive income. Do what? Is my audio working? Did we lose Tyler?
I can hear you. I think your audio is working, but I can't hear Tyler. She's muted.
Okay. And let me check here real quick. We are live, and this is something that I'm trying to do a better job at paying attention here. So I'm going to do a hello from Discord, doing a quick check on live stream. I can't remember if we see, let's see. All right, I'm just taking a look over here. So this is the chat restream window. So see where it came in on the from Discord there. And I don't know if it can tell, but anyway, that's something I'm going to play around with tomorrow on the OBS. And I'm just looking at the what's it called? Oh yeah, the Zoom chat here. Are you back, Tyler?
Well, while we're waiting for Tyler, I guess to kind of talk more about this light paper version and the focus on pass. So if we exclude a lot of the background information like the mission, vision, governance, all that stuff from the light paper, which sections do you see kind of being the priority to be put into the light paper?
I think whatever section, and to be clear, I like those sections on the Git book repo that we have here. And let me bring that into the window here. So I think that like if we did some section rearranging, like the mission is something that we could put under the DAO operations. And like the founding principles and like the I'm not sure what the tokenomics, that's something that I think that we could more put in some expectations as far as like talking about developing a shared, and let me see what's in here. Yeah, so there's not anything in here. And like the REtoken token policy, that's not really related to the BIDL passive income, and that could also go under DAO operations. And don't really know on the income model either. I think that that's something that we could put more in a version 2 or maybe a version 3 of our light paper or white paper as well. I think the opportunity for us to just keep it really simple, because like that's one of, I think, the opportunity that we can provide too is just make this simple. Like we want to not overcomplicate where, we've got a and the easier that we can keep it simple, I think that that'll make our project a lot more attractive and easier for people to understand and explain.
Is there, how simple do we want to make it in terms of, are we assuming that our audience is already familiar with tokens and fractionalization and blockchain, or how do we want to put some of that in an appendix, or do we want to just skip it? Or I'm trying to figure out what are we assuming our audience already knows?
I would say uninitiated, because I think the biggest opportunity that we have, and this will be more revealed as far as with our ambassador program, and then like the certificate program is like real estate agents here in the US that see the opportunity and that want to position themselves as experts. So I really think that like catering this more towards and then the other thing too is like the BIDL passive income with real estate for everyone. There's a lot of tokenization opportunities that are only creating an opportunity for accredited investors. So that I think is another differentiator. It's not something that we need to go in too much, but I think those two things is like that we're wanting to create a passive income opportunity for non-accredited investors, Jane or John Doe, if you will, and then like for people that are real estate professionals or real estate investors. And a lot of real estate investors, depending on if they're just an investor, have passive income right now, but most of those opportunities are for you have to be an accredited investor. So that's really, I think, leaning into that from a messaging standpoint and attracting those people. And like one of the other differentiators that we have right now is that we are truly community owned and operated. We're not investor backed. We don't have any venture capital money. We're owned and operated by the people that are building the community. And I think that that's a message that we can that should resonate with people, where they can be attracted to potentially contribute while we're working on our tokenization process, which is definitely a work in progress. And that's something that we'll be talking more about. And I've got some ideas on that going to bring forward during our community call tomorrow. Had a little bit of segue on that during our core team call. And that's why I'm excited to be having this conversation where we can just kind of like incorporate all of this here in the messaging on our Lite Paper. So I don't know if that, go ahead.
What about this, Jason? What if we did, or everybody, not just you, what if we did, we build passive income for everybody, and then we just made each one of those things, that's the tagline, and then who is we, what's the DAO, this is how we're going to work, BIDL, what does this mean, passive, like how are we talking about passive income, and made each kind of word or phrase in that, who is everyone, how are we defining real estate? I mean, what do we think about that as a structure for the paper? Would that work?
I actually really like that idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think the more, because I mean, like to be honest, I can't read, like, and there's some really technical white papers and light papers out there, and that might not be the audience that we're looking to attract. Is I think the opportunity for us just to make a really simple message and just lean into that we're truly creating the opportunity here for everyone. And I think that that's one of the things that over time will really differentiate, and we're being intentional about, because I mean, I can't tell you like how much people, like when I was at the blockchain real estate summit, everybody, when I was talking about wanting to do a regulation crowdfunding, and create the opportunity for everyone, they're like, oh no, just stick to accredited investors. And like, that's something that is, and I'm sure that Tyler can add some additional details as far as that, like at the Opportunity Zone Expo that we were at. And for those that may or may not know, that's a huge tax incentive that exists for improving something within a designated US Census tract. And we're looking to acquire a parcel for Tokentown, Colorado in hopefully 2022. We don't have a roadmap created for the Token Town Colorado project yet, but that's a whole nother conversation itself.
Hey, Jason,
Go ahead.
you're wandering into a ditch. Can we,
Thank you.
what do you, I feel like you kind of glazed over this. What do you think of the structure of saying we, who is we, Biddle, what does Biddle mean? And just break down each word of this thing, and then that's the table of contents for our white paper, and then we just explain each section with the like kind of with and to the audience, and then that should, I'm hoping that will at least get us started on what we need, and then we can kind of see what's left and if it flows. But we've been talking about this. I really want to get something structured and going here, get something drafted.
Okay, well, let's just put some stuff behind that. So let me switch over here to the edit mode. So like maybe if I'm understanding what you're talking about is do it like a subpage here and then make this like we, and then do another one, Biddle, and then do another one like this. Is this kind of like what you're thinking here? And then just have it where it flows like this. This is our light paper, we, Biddle, passive income, and then we have the we, and then Biddle, and then passive income, and just have it 3 sections, super simple like that.
Yeah, and I think it's, if you even want to add, for the last one is for like one more page after passive income, we Biddle passive income for everyone, or we Biddle passive income for
No,
real
that's
estate
good.
people, or whatever the end of that sentence is.
With real estate. For everyone.
I think if we start off with we, who is we, we're REtoken DAO. What does that mean? How can you be part of it? Biddle, what is Biddle? Like, why are we using that term and that tool? And I mean, I think if we just break it down, I mean, a couple paragraphs with each one, I think we'd have a really solid 1 to 2 page paper that anybody can follow. And
so what is that everybody else thinking as far as that? How's that resonating?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense as far as a starting point and a nice framework for the light paper. I'm really curious about the passive income section, because I know the goal is to be brief and to be succinct. But my initial thought is that section in particular is going to have some meat to it, so that people understand the nature of the passive income and how it works.
Potentially, I think the opportunity for us to, I think most people understand that they're like, when you're providing accommodations, whether that's like long-term tenants or Airbnb or whatever the case may be, is that there's revenue associated with that. So I think the opportunity for us to say, hey, like you'll be able to participate in the revenue share, because that's the thing where I'm really believing that the opportunity for us to do some type of like more advanced tokenomics with the tokenized deals that we're talking about doing, that's so that we can really deliver on this shared equity appreciation model, but yet still return desirable returns to our investors. And I don't know what that's going to look like, because I'm not a financial modeler or whatever. And I think that that's something that we can work on developing. And because anyway, that's another conversation. But I think that most people, if we say, hey, it's going to be some type of revenue share, I mean, it's not like we're providing a PPM, a private placement memorandum for an investment opportunity. This is just that we're wanting to create this tokenized real estate. There's going to be revenue associated with the tokenized real estate situation, and as a investor in that, you'll be able to participate in that revenue share, and that'll be the passive income. And because one of the business models that we're really looking to bring forward, and this is kind of the origin story for Mrs. Yonks and I, is Crypto House. And don't want to go off onto the tangent of Crypto House, but that's one of the things that we're looking to deploy in Tokentown, Colorado, is a hybrid accommodations, Bitcoin crypto mining, hence Crypto House, to put those together within Tokentown. So instead of just being an accommodations revenue model, it'll also have a crypto mining operations component as well, and all kinds of fun things that we can do with the DeFi and accumulating digital assets over time. But that's, again, another conversation. So I really like, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, this is for everybody, but especially for you, Brian, since you've got probably the strongest real estate background of everybody on the phone right now. Do you want to start drafting something? Do you have access to our Gitbook page? Do you want to start drafting something on the passive income section? And I was thinking we could either all start drafting on the pages, or if we want to each take a page, how do we want to do this? And then we can kind of come back together like we did with the American Made Solar Prize and kind of edit together so it flows and just stomp out the word choice, that kind of thing. But wanted to see, Brian, since you seem to have a lot of thoughts and expertise on real estate, do you want to take the passive income page and just start drafting what you think we should put in there?
Just gonna weigh in here, sorry, if I may.
Oh yeah, of course.
So my question is that if it's going to be a DAO, so I agree with Jason's remark regarding it's for everyone. So is it going to be a package investment plan? Let's just say $5,000, a package investment plan for you or a person, individual, to have a passive income source, or is it going to be a token has been built for, let's just say, 5 billion tokens total supplies, and then that's going to be circulating in the market. And if it's circulating in the market for any individual can buy from the DeFi or CeFi exchanges, and by default they'll be able to get the portion of the revenue according to their share of the token. Does that make sense? So my question is it going to be a fixed amount, or let's just say a package built on, each of the package could be $5,000 to up to $100,000, or are you going to build different section of investments, or is it going to be universal? Just by holding tokens, so buying tokens and holding it, you getting the revenue as a profit.
Our plan right.
Is there a time limit for certain people have to hold the token for a certain amount of time for them to, in order for them to get the revenue, or is it going to be constant? Thank you.
That's something that's not been defined yet. So our expectation is that it'll be a tokenized situation, an SPV, special purpose vehicle. So like in Tokentown, where we're looking to build an entire new subdivision, the Tokentown, the HOA destroyer. So in that, depending on how many parcels are created within this new neighborhood, like let's say that there's 32 parcels, we have 32 founding citizen NFTs available. Well, not all of them are available, but it's this first round of founding citizen NFTs are limited to 32. So in that type of scenario, for this founding citizen NFT, we're creating the priority so that whoever is the founding citizen NFT holder will have the right for the tokenization of that particular parcel. So in Token Town, we're looking to have multiple and we're planning on utilizing regulation crowdfunding, which is the securities exemption here in the US that allows non-accredited investors to participate. So, and then like we've got on our roadmap, and let me bring that open here. Love our roadmap on Trello. And this is something that we just added the other day, is our regulation crowdfunding offering for REtoken, the REtoken DAO. So that's something that we like right now we're representing via the REtoken token on Polygon. And assuming that we continue to use that same Polygon ERC20 token until we do our regulation crowdfunding, then at that time we'll change to whatever token, security token that we go from our existing Polygon token, our social token that we have now, to our regulation crowdfunding security token. And we've got that on our roadmap for 2022 Q3. So like the parcels in Token Town, Colorado, that will be a separate tokenized situation than REtoken DAO. Does that answer your question, Blackfire?
Yes. So I'm gonna have to look into some of the resources you have shown and so read it in detail. That would give me a better vision of what you're trying to do. Actually, it's pretty cool. So that's the 32 NFT you have created, which is for the founding citizens. That will not be sold. And that's more like a voting power. Is it correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is like one of the things that's very different, because like when you think about, and I don't know how the neighborhoods are built where you're at, but like how neighborhoods are largely been built here in the US, mostly for the last 2 generations, for like over 40 years, is the HOA model. And the numbers substantiate that very much so. So like most people, the consensus is that most people don't like, here in the US, the HOA model. And it didn't take, when started talking about Token Town, it didn't take too long when was having conversations to really realize how deeply that people loathe HOAs. There's a long list of reasons, and that's one of the things that I think is the maybe another opportunity for us, either through REtoken or Token Town. And Token Town, and from an entity standpoint, it is worth mentioning that Token Town DAO is a separate legal entity. And let me bring open, and this is probably best shown on this impact investing under the projects Figma chart. And this is something that I spoke about on our core team call. Let me bring that open. So REtoken, this is us, this yellow bubble over here. And then Token Town DAO, this blue bubble, that's a separate DAO, a subsidiary DAO of REtoken. And then Token Town, Colorado is functionally a child DAO of Token Town. And we're developing that architecture so that it can scale, so that this model that we're creating here with Token Town DAO, this like, think of it as like a next gen HOA / governance type of a model. And the thing that's fabulous about it is that it's very different, because it's not only a better governance model, but it really, like with the tokenization and where people can truly be equity owners, it's a very different model than the model that has existed, that's thrived here, the HOA model. So this other chart over, or this other window over here, is some impact investing. Yes, go ahead.
If I may interrupt you in there. So I'm not an American citizen. So there is no way for me to take part into this Token Town tokens. Is that correct? If I read it correctly?
No, I mean there's people invest all the time, in US globally. So that's up for everybody, and that's one of the things too, is that it's not really we don't even consider it an investment. It's more of and we've got that outlined here as far as in the NFT founding citizen benefits and parameters. So it's an opportunity to be involved in a functionally what we believe is going to be a paradigm shift in how new neighborhoods can be built. So you don't have to be, there's no requirements that say you have to be a US citizen to participate in this founding citizen opportunity that we've created. To acquire the founding citizen NFT, it's you only have to have your crypto wallet. It's one. Technically, it's a wrapped Ethereum because the NFT is on Polygon. But yeah, it's functionally one Ethereum. And the reason that we did 32 is the number of Ethereum that has to have staked to set up an Ethereum 2.0 node. So that's one of the things that we are planning on getting yield, because we don't want that Ethereum just to be sitting on the shelf somewhere. So we are planning on getting yield while we're working towards building Token Town, Colorado, this next gen neighborhood. And we believe that there will be, so don't want to talk too much about that because that's kind of a side conversation. We will absolutely be talking more about Token Town here in December. And this is something that our team put a lot of effort for on this American-made solar. And we've got the little logo in the corner of the screen here. So, and that's actually one of the things that we've been including on a lot of our POAPs for our community call and our core team call, is this founding citizen NFT, because Token Town is our flagship project right now. And we're going to be talking more about, like I said, talking more about that. So anyway,
So
go ahead.
So the positions in founding citizenry NFT already has been filled, is it? Or is there any position left for someone to chime in?
Yeah, I think we only have 4 that have been acquired right now, and we're expecting that to pick up here in December, and we'll be talking more about that at the community call. Got a special announcement, and going to be making that during our community call tomorrow. So if you're listening now, make sure, hopefully everybody that's on tonight will be participating in that. And I'm even going to go out of my way to send an email communication and trying to encourage some people that are kind of silent and not participating to hop on, because the conversations around Token Town in Token Town, Colorado will be heating up, and we'll be having like some more stuff as far as the treasury management with the Ethereum that we are obtaining. And that's one of the things that's fabulous too, is that we're doing a hybrid governance model for Token Town, Colorado, where it'll be a combination of the founding citizen NFT combined with the ERC20 tokens. So all of the people that participated in the Token Town, Colorado working groups, and this is something here, and everybody make sure that you look. I know that Amy and Dax did. This is the screenshot here from the big, and this was like 5,000 REtoken that I dropped. But we still, so all of these people that got the REtoken, these people will also be getting Token Town DAO and Token Town, Colorado. So right now under REtoken, there are 3 ERC social tokens that make up the entities that we have right now. So the Token Town, Colorado is going to be a hybrid governance model, very heavily weighted towards the founding citizen NFTs, but also giving people the opportunity, like they get with REtoken when we start ramping up the conversations around Token Town, Colorado. And geographically right now, Mrs. Yonks and I are in Cincinnati. We're going to be going to Fort Collins in January, and then we'll start, having a lot more conversations. And also too, super excited to find out what the determination is with the American Made Solar Prize, the submissions that we submitted for the round on the hardware and the software tracks on that. So getting back to our white paper though, on this, I'm really liking this type of direction as far as the and where we were going here. And I took a screenshot of this as far as the keeping this super simple on the we diddle passive income, and then just breaking out the content here. And then also between now and our next working group here, one of the things that I would like to either decide on here tonight or on our next working group, and we're already halfway through our time tonight, is when we want to kind of put a deadline as far as, because one of the things that I have observed is that when there's a deadline, it seems to like everything happens as far as getting, I know that this is something that I also am very aware of. So I'm liking, and I don't know what day that falls on, but December 15th is kind of a date that I was, oh, so I saw it real quick here. Ryan chimed on. So, hey there, does this push into the Restream chat then? So I'm going to see what we see on this. Let me see if it's on this one. It doesn't look like it does. So I might have to enable the relay chat. Let me do a hello from Discord. And are you watching the YouTube there, Ryan? Anyway, I'll come back to that later. So got off on a little bit of a tangent there. So getting back on track, the docs here, I'm liking the direction. So you said that it comes in from the Zoom too? Does the Zoom integrate?
Find out all the answers.
No, I mean, I'm on the Zoom too. That's what I'm saying. I was just curious if the YouTube comments popped into that Restream chat or not.
Yeah, so this. Are you talking about the one that I have on the screen right now?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, so that's cool. So it's basically it's an aggregator for all the chats across all the streaming platforms.
Yeah, this window is, and this is something here. We don't have a large audience on Facebook, but I think that that's definitely an opportunity. So I was even thinking about going through this process here. And for those that may or may not know, we are multi-streaming right now to YouTube, Facebook, and that includes the Facebook like page, the Facebook group page. I think I also have this one going to the DAO hack, since this is more of just a general, like that's one of the things too that we're wanting to position this as far as like a how-to section. But anyway, thanks for chiming in there, Ryan. Always love your participation on our working groups. All right, so getting back here to the, so let's let this continue to kind of, I'm liking this direction better, and I think that we can make a decision on that here between now and our next working group. The other thing too, I think that is something to consider is if we want to take a little bit of extra time to potentially put it in where we can just have like a single document, and this is kind of more in the fun like PDF slash and whether we do or not, I'm good either way. But I think just making this simple, and again, I would encourage everybody to go through this experience on your mobile, like on your iPhone or your Android or whatever mobile device that you use, and see what it looks like. And that's this Lite Paper. And we'll and for those again that don't have the Gitbook access that want to contribute, this is one of the things that we're planning on doing some type of integration with like Coordinate or SourceCred at some point in time. Not there yet, but that's conversations that we'll have here in December.
Hey,
So go ahead.
Sorry if I missed this. I had to step away for a minute. So did we agree that we're going to have this thing a final? Are we all contributing to it now, and then we're doing our final edit on December 15th? Because I mean, this is our fourth working group. We haven't written anything yet. So can we just?
Well, that's definitely not. I mean, we've been contributing in the Google Docs, but I do agree that that's one of the things I was talking about putting forward as far as like a date. December 15th is something that I've thought of before, where we could and like right now we've got.
Sorry, I'm just wondering, are we all contributing between now and then, and we're going to do our final edit on December 15th and then push it out the door? Is that the goal?
No, I mean, we can put some details in here. I think this is a functional, fairly large shift from where we were at in our previous working group. And I'm liking this direction here, where we keep it super crisp as far as, and this is one of the things too, where and we this is our Lite Paper, so we can make it however that we want. And this is one of the things too, where I think talking about like a second draft or some like this passive income section, like this would be a great opportunity to talk about the passive income quest that we've barely had any conversations about. And that's something that we'll have more conversations about likely in the ambassadors working group here later this week. So I think that I can put some effort into the content. I don't know if we want to talk about scheduling the next working group for the white paper and just kind of like, but how's everybody feeling about December 15th?
I think if you can do a timeline of things we needed to accomplish, like when we're doing the working group, leading up to the 15th. So by that time, we have everything together. And I've been in communication with a lot of other groups and with other DAOs that by the way, they had a really good presentation on the DAO hackathon this morning about NFT storefront and through Mint.io, I think. But I was thinking on that passive income generation, we need to kind of put that more in detail, I guess, in our future meetings, so we would know how to present it. Because if it's vague, and if we ourselves, especially me, cannot explain it to those that I wanted to present it to, it's going to be difficult. So I think we need to kind of hone in on that. If that is our first Lite Paper, we need to do a timeline on what we need to do to accomplish that in the future. And also, our roadmap, since I've been conversing with a lot of people in the blockchain, NFT, metaverse community, our roadmap should include the metaverse, wherein we can use whatever NFTs we have. I think this is something like 2 years down the road or something like that. NFTs we have to play in our metaverse. A lot of people in the Philippines are already doing earn to play, where people just sit down, play, and make money. I don't know if you've heard about that, but they always tell me that America is usually late in this kind of evolution, but it's very popular in the Philippines right now.
Yeah, no, very, very familiar with like some of the play to earn models that exist. That's very popular in some of the developing countries. And my concern, like with the metaverse, at least for this, and this is one of the things that I like about dialing back the scope and looking just at this through the lens of that this initial Lite Paper is going to be just talking about BIDL passive income with real estate for everyone, and the opportunity, like, and that's one of the things I would encourage everybody to, because I think the opportunity to communicate in written manner the roadmap here, and this is one of the things where hopefully everybody can be continually thinking about, like, is there something that we can or should add to the roadmap that we've got? And I think that this is one of the things that we can maybe be intentional, and I'll talk about that all during the community call and again at the core team call. I've been talking about that, and we'll continue to where we can add some things to the roadmap, because like the opportunity of delving into the metaverse, like during this virtual summit that we're looking to do through a partnership with Token Summit DAO. And that's one of the things, again, talk about at the community call tomorrow. So the right now, the biggest need, in my opinion, that we have is to actually tokenize some real estate, and that'll add a lot of validity to what we're wanting to do. And I think, however, that we can communicate the way that we're going to be moving forward on that within this Lite Paper, I think will be good. So this is one of the things, and I don't know if we want to just like this Tuesday, this is now the second working group that we've held on a Tuesday. I'm hoping, well, I think I put forward, let me look real quick. I think I put 3 options forward on the poll here for the ambassadors working group. And that was, yeah. Again, if anybody's interested in the ambassadors working group, there's the times, the poll's open. So I'm thinking just putting this for next Tuesday, and looking at the calendar, let me bring open the REtoken calendar here. So I'm thinking like that's the 7th, and that'll give some opportunity for me, and I don't know if we want to have like a breakout session. Who else is like wanting to put in some details? Because and I don't know if you want to handle that conversation, Tyler, as far as when we're talking about the details. That is the section over here on this revised, the BIDL passive income with real estate for everyone.
So you're asking for draft, you're asking who wants to do draft documentation on all those?
And I don't know if we should, I've got access to here, and hopefully if anybody's wanting to contribute, we've gotten you the access, if you don't, to Gitbook. And from a workflow standpoint, like, let me go ahead and save this here real quick. So I don't know if everybody saw, I'll show you again here real quick when I finish making these changes. Let me add a subject here, revised light paper section, and I'll put added we BUIDL passive income. So this is just entering a subject, and then it's got a two-step process. You submit the changes, and then you merge the changes. And this is something where over time we may develop some additional workflow. Don't need to right now because it's pretty much all new content. So anyway, so go ahead.
What I would like to request is if anybody feels like they want to take on a draft of one or more of these things, what we ended up doing for the American Made Dollar Prize, because we were on a deadline and we were just kind of running out of time, was I wrote the initial draft of our entire application, and then everybody came together and edited it and added stuff and changed language and whatever, and then just kind of made it a team effort. I would really like to have everybody pick a section that they're particularly passionate about, and we can kind of do the same thing. I didn't want to write the entire thing myself. I don't have time. So I'm guessing I'm just gonna ask them for signups. Who's interested? Doesn't have to be perfect language or perfect whatever. It just has to be put thoughts on paper. It can be bullet points. You can write paragraphs, you can write whatever, but just give us something to start kind of banging through as a team, so that when we come back together, we can have something specific to edit, and we can come up with a first draft and then go from there.
I'll take the passive income section.
Okay, hold on, let me write this down. Okay, so was that you, D-Sign?
Yeah.
Okay, D-Sign wants passive income. Who else wants a page on there?
Don't we all?
Are you just doing this in the Google Docs there, Tyler?
I'm gonna add it in there when I have everything.
Okay.
I can talk about we or everyone, what it means. I don't know if you guys want me to contribute to it. I have time, so I can.
Yeah, great, we love it. All right, Blackfire wants we. Does anybody want BUIDL?
I can do that.
Was that you, Crash?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We BUIDL passive income, and then is it for? Hey, babe, can you pull that screen back up? We BUIDL passive income with real estate for everyone. With real estate, who wants with real estate, and who wants for everyone?
I'll take for everyone.
Okay, Amy for everyone, and then who wants with real estate?
I don't mind taking a stab at it.
Was that you, Brian?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, I've got Blackfire for we, Crush for BUIDL, D-Sign passive income, Brian for real estate, and Amy for everyone. Is that right?
Yes, that sounds correct.
Cool. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everybody, for stepping up on that. And then I'll get that added to our Google Doc. And then do you all have editing access on our Git page?
I know I do.
You have it or you need it, Brian?
I don't know if I have one, so just check.
Okay. All right. Well,
I need it. I tried. I know an invite was sent to me, but I took too long to respond to it, so it expired.
We'll get you another one.
Okay.
Cool.
I will text you on the Discord, Teller, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
With my ID, with my GitHub ID. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll get you added on all that. We'll get all of you added. I'll make sure everybody's got an invitation. And what's a reasonable amount of time for everyone to come up with a first draft of bullet points or a paragraph or two? It doesn't have to be anything lengthy, just something to start going in.
Well, let's just plan on having that done where we can reconvene during our next working group, and looking at the success that we've had with this time window. I'm advocating that we just reconvene a week from tonight, same time, same format, and that is I think let me see where it's at. I had the calendar up here. Yeah, December 7th.
Does that give everybody enough time, a week, to bang out a couple paragraphs?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a good enough time. It's too much time, in fact, but that's okay.
Amy, do you want me
Well-
to send you a note the night before so you can get cranking?
I mean, I can do a research in a flash, but I'm a crammer in school, so that's fine.
And
Um,
the reason for that, Amy, is that we've got our ambassador working group coming up to hopefully either Thursday, Saturday, or Monday was the time frame. So yeah, so that's kind of the thoughts. And then we're going to be ramping up too, just to set everybody's expectations. Like, the conversations are only going to be ramping up here a lot in December, expecting momentum on Tokentown, Colorado, more stuff ramping up on that. That's one of the reasons that I'm just getting caught up on some of the stuff that's been looming from a previous, like some of the old stuff from the Tokentown, like I did the airdrop the other night. So, and that's why too, and I think I mentioned that, I can't remember if that was before we went live or not, but planning on doing an airdrop here either tonight or tomorrow night after the community call. And that will and I'm waiting to do those proposals that I was talking about that are relevant, and that's the BIDL passive income, the passive income quest, and then the what was the other one? I can't remember. Anyway, so I'll get that scheduled. Let me add that to the next action item here for tonight's Trello card. And let's see.
Jason, I wasn't sure where you wanted that. I put it under thoughts. I don't know if you wanted somewhere else.
In the Google Doc.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I'll take a look at the. We can work on getting it all cleaned up here. So one of the other things too to keep in mind is that we're wanting to put a nice little bow tie on this besides the Lite Paper bow tie, kind of like put a and I don't know if this will be useful for any other projects, but like the process that we're going through here and encouraging the community at large to actually participate. And, like whenever we go through updating our Lite Paper with another iteration, or creating another one, like, we've got the one that I'm super excited about too, that I think a lot of people are passionate about, is this one right here, creating equitable, affordable housing for everybody. And this is one that I think where we could potentially collaborate, like one of the vehicles that really looking to partner up with is the cooperative Our Home Co-op, the co-op housing sister DAO, and we'll be having more conversation about that here in December as well. So anyway, I'm feeling really good about where we're at right now, and I'm not sure how much more that we want to dig into various things here. I'm going to turn it over, let everybody else kind of just chime in on some thoughts as far as anything else that we need to identify as far as the next action related to getting this all shored up.
Yeah, since we have a moment, when Amy mentioned kind of the income model, and I know I'm going to flesh it out later, but she touched on the fact that, she's not really able to explain it. I'm in that same boat. I kind of tried to peruse around Discord and try to see what resources are there. So if you don't mind, could we just chat about that for a second?
Yeah, as far as the passive income.
Yeah, so I guess I get confused with Tokentown. Thanks for giving that background about Tokentown. That Tokentown is a whole separate initiative. because I was kind of blending the two together. So REtoken DAO is basically just the tokenization of rental properties, correct?
No, so we're wanting to create and more of a win-win-win situation. Now, that's not saying that at some point in time we won't be doing like other potential like tokenization of rental properties. It's not that that's off the table, but like one of our founding principles is to create win-win-win situations. So if somebody can really tell me how tokenizing a rental property is beneficial for the tenant of that rental property, I'd love to hear the angle on that. But from where my understanding is that benefits the investors and the platform that is providing that tokenization opportunity, and it doesn't really create a win for the tenants of a tokenized rental property. So that's one of the things that we're, go ahead.
Let's say if you're talking about tokenization, and you can talk about shared equity, so it's on the, it's on the owner to want to share that equity with a tenant, but if they do want to participate in that.
Well, hey guys, let me give you an example of a project that we're working on that this might make more sense with an actual example. So Jason and I own this duplex in Chicago that I think we've told you guys about. And the tenants pay us rent, and the end. There's no upside for them except for that they get a place to live. That's it. So what we're working on right now is that house is personally owned with a mortgage, and so what we're doing right now is we're in the process of transferring it to an LLC and putting it up for tokenization. So that's step one, and step two is setting aside some tokens to start burning or transferring to the tenants as part of their rent, / letting them buy into the tokenization as they want to. And then we're also putting crypto mines in the basement to generate tokens that hopefully will go into the cash flow of the house and offset their rent increases or potentially even lower their rent. And so when we say shared equity appreciation, it's going to look like a couple things. One is we're going to give them some tokens as an incentive as they rent. So it's as they rent, they'll actually be getting a little piece of ownership too. They'll have the opportunity to buy additional ownership at a very low cost, probably $50 a token or something like that. And then number three, we're going to have these crypto mines as something that's going to be generating income for the house that they'll get part of and the investors will get part of. So that's kind of all, and some of that's a little bit TBD, but that's the general model of how we want to give them some profit sharing into the house and then let them buy more equity. So when we start distributing profits to all the token holders, that the renters will also be token holders, and then they'll get shares of the appreciation of that house. They'll get shares of the appreciation, and they'll get shares of their own rent back. So that's kind of the strategy of trying to turn renters into owners, give them equity, sell them equity, and just give them a piece of the pie.
And my thoughts are, as far as like, that's a lot of detail that I don't necessarily think that we need to put in this first iteration of this white paper.
I strongly disagree with that, Jans. I think everything that Tyler said is perfect for the passive income model section. And that would, boom, it's right there. And then everyone understands. And then you've covered everything. And then, so that kind of clarifies it from my real estate section, because I had a bunch of thoughts running through my head. Well, is it commercial property? Is it residential property? Where are we doing it? Are we doing duplexes, single family, attached property? So all these are the things that start going through my head. So
does that make sense how we're doing it? It can be anything. It can be, Brian, and any of the above. It's really just a question of what do we have capital to buy? What do we have access to buy? Whatever. But that was just an example of, if we have in this one limited example that happens to be a duplex and it happens to be in Chicago and we happen to own it, that's it. If that were the example, that's how we would do it. If it were you know, a single family house in Baltimore or an apartment complex in Miami or a whatever, wherever, it would be some similar functionality of you get tokens because you're a renter, you get to buy tokens at a low cost and you get a profit share.
Okay. That's straightforward to me.
Yeah, and the detail that I was talking about not necessarily needing to include, in my opinion, was the crypto house component, because I think that only adds additional complexity that hasn't been vetted. But you know, at the end of the day, we can do whatever everybody wants to do here too. So.
So I guess this is Amy again. So I guess once the mortgage is paid off, people will have more money in their pockets, right?
Well, in this scenario, Amy, there may not even be a mortgage, and that's the big opportunity that exists with like Token Town, is that we're going to be completely changing the traditional capital stack on its head. Now, it may be advantageous, you know, like in Token Town, Colorado, where we've got this founding citizen NFT model, where the person that is, you know, wanting to do their tokenized situation, that it makes sense for them to do some component. And that's the thing where we can potentially have a combination of financial models that we'll be utilizing to capitalize a particular situation in Token Town. So, but it's entirely possible that there may not even be a mortgage in play for a good portion of the tokenized situations in Token Town.
So just to give you guys an example, if we can raise enough money to buy these properties in cash, then there won't be a mortgage ever. And then instead of paying a bank interest, we would just be taking the rent, keeping a small reserve for maintenance and property insurance and whatever else, and then distributing all the rest as profits back to investors, either once a year, or I think once a year is kind of standard. We could do it monthly. D-Sign brought up Superfluid earlier, which is a really cool piece of software that you can use continuous cash flows. So if you owned a token from March 17th to June 4th, or some random thing that didn't coordinate with a month, we would know how much profit you were entitled to during that time. Or we could just say the token holder that's holding it at the end of the month gets it. We can kind of prorate it off that. There's a bunch of different ways we could do it. And that doesn't need to go in the white paper, but we could, stocks have a way to do this with capital gains and dividends and distribution. So we know that exists in the capital stack in the world. We just need to figure out the right software to do it for us.
Well, and there's tools like you said, like Superfluid. I mean, there's only going to be an increasing amount of ways to facilitate payments regarding crypto. So that is, I think, also a bigger opportunity, is not just the tokenization, but really shifting the modality, and not just like, because an increasing amount of real estate tokenization situations are taking a rental property and then tokenizing it, and then they've got a management component. And I think the opportunity for us to create a win for the tenants and not even have a management component in there. So that's the thing where, like, I think we can over time, like, get that more refined as we get the process refined as far as what we want things to look like. So getting a solid light paper right now that we can feel confident and proud of creating, I think, is the opportunity and the deliverable that we need to hit for this first light paper.
And I have a question. So as far as the tokenization, is it going to be one token, one property, or will the token cover multiple properties like a portfolio?
The plan is to make it simple. One token, one property. That could shift to a fund later on, but really right now we just want to keep it simple.
Well, and one of the things too that I was advocating is that it may not be simple, because the opportunity of us doing like a combination of a debt token with an equity token, because we're wanting to create this shared equity appreciation, but we're still wanting to give solid returns to the investors. So that's where, in my opinion, not going too deep on this, because we haven't gone deep onto the tokenomics, and the opportunity for us to engage in like this, where this article here, creating a equitable, affordable housing. Because when you're talking about like the shared equity appreciation model, that doesn't necessarily fall into this narrative of building passive income, because the equitable component, or the equity, that's a different conversation. So the opportunity for us to leverage additional resources outside of our own DAO, especially on this one here, where we're talking about creating a public good, affordable housing. Most people would generally regard this as a necessary public good that is it's a global crisis that we're, I believe, creating a solution for. So we don't have to have all of those details in this first white paper. This one just dig in on the passive income in a clear manner that's easy for people to understand, where you don't need like a college degree to understand what we're communicating.
I am going to propose that everybody that gets their page completed, or the first draft of their page completed, gets an extra 50 retokens on top of what you would get for just being a part of the call. So we want to make sure that we pay you guys for doing that work.
Well, do you want to add that to here as far as the retoken bonus for this deliverable?
Yeah, absolutely. You can move that to wherever you want.
Hey, Jason, can we check the YouTube comments real quick? Got a comment from Michael.
Oh yeah, let's see. So, and the reason that we're looking at doing the regulation crowdfunding is that like having the cap at the 5 million and the ability to scale out this and just stamp them out is one of the reasons that we're liking the regulation crowdfunding. So yeah, some great comments here. Make sure, Tyler, that you capture who's participating in the live stream so that they get some bonus retoken. And I'll put out here some great questions from YouTube.
Yeah, since we have a full house today, I was gonna say, I'm gonna make a POAP for Sunday, today, and whatever day we have a meeting. But since today we have a full house, if Tyler can send me a list of those that attended, so I can send the POAP out for today.
Yeah, got it. No problem, Amy.
And thank you, Amy, for leading the POAP efforts. I enjoy receiving the POAPs, and that's one of the fun things that we do here. We love having fun at REtoken.
Well, Docs took like 2 to 3 hours trying to fine tune the degen and then training me how to do it. And I'm just happy that I'm learning as we go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Appreciate both of you for getting that all set up there. So we've got 15 minutes. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, just to clarify, Token Town is in Colorado. As far as retoken investments, they're not restricted to any particular geographic area, right?
Token Town, Colorado is going to be in Colorado. Token Town, the vision for Token Town more broadly is every major US city in the US and maybe the world. So Token Town, Colorado is here because Jason and I happen to live here, but we are absolutely not restricted to Colorado for anything after project number 1. We can put it wherever. And if for some reason the people that buy the 32 governance tokens all really strongly want to not build it here, I mean, I guess we could talk about that. But other than Token Town number 1, we are planning on letting the next set of token holders pick where they want it, and we'll just build it wherever they want it.
I guess it's just the model project for right now until we get some more projects in.
Yeah, and there's not really any opportunity at this point in time to invest in REtoken or Token Town Colorado. The Founding Citizen NFT is a utility NFT for governance, and that's one of the things that we will likely create a rage quit opportunity for people that don't like the direction of the project or whatever case may be, can step away and receive their 1 Ethereum back. So this is something that we really want people that are, ideally people that would love to live in Token Town, Colorado, but that's not necessarily a requirement. Mrs. Yonks and I are huge proponents of Airbnb, short-term rental, as far as juicing up the returns. So that will definitely be a consideration, and it will ultimately be up to the founding citizens of Token Town, Colorado, and the ERC token holders of Token Town, Colorado, as far as where that initial parcel will be. But as Tyler alluded, shortlisting Colorado for multiple different reasons, and then also looking at opportunity zone for leveraging additional capital opportunities. Opportunity zones provide huge tax incentives for people that have capital gains and are able to invest through a qualified opportunity fund. And that's one of the things that we will be talking more about again, as we're looking to move those through the Token Town, Colorado conversations. But I see Tyler's got her mic open. Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, no, that wasn't on purpose. I just forgot to mute. Sorry.
So we've got our 5th white paper working group on the Google Calendar here for December the 7th coming up here. I definitely like the format where we have the padding at the front side before we go live, and we'll continue to do that for the rest of the events, just to give everybody an opportunity to kind of group, get ready for the live stream. So besides the takeaways that we've got, the details as far as the content, and that's something we're going to thank the people that will be contributing with a bonus of 50 REtoken. So we've got that for next week. What are some other final thoughts that we've got here before we work on winding this down? Love the conversations about this, and this is definitely something that looking forward to putting a check mark on our roadmap here.
I just had a thought about the tokenomics, and this is more just for something to think about, but it might be a good idea. I've been really interested in these rebasing DAOs, like Olympus DAO and Klima, stuff like that. And most of those DAOs, they're trying to be like a reserve currency for their chain. And if you don't know how these DAOs work, they own all of their liquidity. So in order to get some of their tokens, you have to mint their tokens by providing your own liquidity through like another token, whether it's DAI is the one that all of the Olympus tokens are backed off of, or they're pegged on. So something about the rebase DAO that I like a lot is by owning your own liquidity, it's kind of based off of the health of the value of the token is also based off of the value of the tokens that the liquidity is based off of. So in the case of Olympus DAO, part of that is tied to DAI, and it's also tied to the health of the network that it's on, the chain that it's on. And that might be something for us to consider when we make our token economy.
Well, one of the things, and appreciate the insight on that there, D-Sign. One of the things that is important to keep into consideration is that there's going to be there's three what do you want to call it, like tripods, if you will, to this digital assets or security tokens. There's the broker dealer with the registered broker dealer, like to do the regulation crowdfunding. There's the registered transfer agent that who fulfills the chain of custody, and then there's the ATS. So like on these, like the regulation crowdfunding, for example, there's going to be a one year lockup. So a lot of the liquidity types of stuff and the tokenomics that are being deployed with more creative type of crypto projects, with us taking a more conservative path, those types of tokenomics we may not have the opportunity to do. And that's again one of the reasons that I'm wanting to take a more of a simplistic approach until we have more conversations with whoever is going to be the registered broker dealer and the registered transfer agent, as far as what that's going to look like for the tokenomics. And one of the things that I did talk about is the opportunity to potentially do like some type of dual, like a debt token with an equity token. I think that those types of conversations are absolutely something that we can and potentially should explore, because like going back to the opportunity zone conversation, for example, if we look to provide some type of tokenomics, one of the things that opportunity fund managers are looking for is, what's my exit strategy at the 10-year mark? So the opportunity for us to potentially create some type of hybrid tokenized debt and equity type of situation for that type of a situation. So that's again where we'll have a lot better understanding what that could look like, where I'm thinking maybe like a version 2 of a Lite Paper after we have some of these types of more thorough tokenomics conversations, and potentially after we get like our broker dealer and our transfer agent in place. And
yeah,
I saw a comment.
I just wanted to bring it up. It's just more for like thinking about more just for like a food for thought. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think that there's absolutely an opportunity with like ClimaDAO, for example, for us. And one of the other partnerships is Energy Web Chain or Energy Web Token, EWT, as far as potential opportunities. Because, you know, assuming that we are like Token Town, Colorado is a net positive energy community, the opportunity to potentially sell those carbon credits. And again, that we'll have more conversations about that. And I saw a comment from Teresa on the YouTube, the DAOs that D-Sign are referencing and speaking to, that's in the general chat on Discord. And let me just bring back Discord here real quick. So, and I'm going to do like I'm going to turn on the restream or this relay mode functionality and see if that will add a little bit more engagement here on Discord. So just as a FYI, I was looking over here at the chat window on that. And that's one of the things too. that going to be doing some testing with OBS and hopefully have that in place for our community call tomorrow. And it looks like we've got 4 people that's watching the stream. So thanks everybody for participating on the live stream. We've got 5 minutes left. I feel really good about all that we got accomplished on our working group tonight. Who else wants to chime in on some final thoughts here?
Feel great about everything we've gotten done, and excited to see what everybody comes up with. Super excited.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks everyone for this great conversation, specifically Taylor and Jason. Great conversation, very enlightening. So I'm gonna have to do some more research, and if Taylor can add me on the GitHub, then I can start working on the page it's supposed to do. So yeah,
I'll get that done tonight for you.
Right, thanks.
I want to thank everyone for joining in tonight. Hopefully we'll see you all every time we have a meeting, if it's not too much to ask. But it's lovely to hear, you know, feedback from many different directions. So we appreciate you all.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody entertaining some conversation and talking about the kind of ideas for once the real estate's tokenized, how that can be leveraged to, you know, make those missions and vision statements happen.
Yeah, and that's something that we'll be, again, having more conversations with on the regulation crowdfunding piece here in December. So be thinking if that's something that you want to be involved on those conversations, like, and I'm going to just plant this little seed here. One of the things we've been using working groups, and one of the things that concept that I'm looking forward to introducing is the concept of a task force. So that may be a better way to describe our inter-DAO operations, that and just planting that seed to see how that resonates with people, because the and there's probably 2 opportunities on the task force line that looking at. One is the regulation crowdfunding. The other is the token summit. And the token summit, this is, we briefly spoke about that earlier. We've been talking quite a bit about that on and off, but this is to fulfill our roadmap item for a virtual summit and looking at doing that through a sister DAO, Token Summit DAO. So 2 task force opportunities, kind of see how that resonates with you as far as that. If there's something that can think of better, but really wanting to differentiate that opportunity from our working groups. So, and briefly talk about that tomorrow during the community call and here in December, as we're looking to dig in on the regulation crowdfunding. And the regulation crowdfunding, we believe that that's the best vehicle that will allow for everyone, because we really want to make it easier for everyone to have the passive income that real estate provides. And there's just a lot of barriers of entry, and the tokenization of real estate can substantially reduce those, not though if it has to be where you have to be an accredited investor. So that's something that we're very committed to as far as the tokenization situations that we're going to be creating here, is increasing the access of the passive income opportunity that real estate provides. So that was a mouthful. Does anybody else have any final thoughts? I've missed you, Ryan, on your participation. So hopefully things are catching up where you will be able to chime in more. Your inputs are always welcome. And Blackfire, thank you for hopping on tonight. And Brian and D-Sign and Crush and Amy and of course, Mrs. Yonks, thank you everybody for all that you've done here to so far. And this is the last day of November. We're kicking off next month. So we're going to be kicking off our 14th community call on December 1st. So super excited about what we're building here. And I'm going to stop talking and let other people chime in if they want to.
Well, I can see that we'll be disrupting a lot in real estate in what you call those what do you call the home thingy? But I'm glad that we're growing organically and getting quality people on board. So thank you, everyone.
Well, thanks everybody for your time. We will see you at the next meeting.
All right,
Awesome,
I just put a thanks everyone, and I don't know if Blackfire, I saw him unmic or unmute there.
I just wanted to say goodbye, everyone, until next time. So yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody on the community call tomorrow. Have a good one.